found a deliberate mistake, I will start the question.
Can you use the microphone, please?
Well, try.
Would you all use the microphones?
Yeah.
First question is from Mr. Lavender. He says, Douglas must be the worst served town in the British Isles for bus terminus passengers, who in defence to age and mobility deserve comfortable facilities, including a warm waiting room and toilets. Will you press the government of the day to build a new bus station in Douglas without delay? Could we start off with Mark?
Certainly. Thank you. Sorry, gentlemen at the back, can you hear me okay, or would you prefer the microphone?
Use the microphone.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Can everyone hear that okay? Right, thank you. As far as the bus terminal goes, we absolutely do need something, and we need it fairly soon. Now, government have been telling us that we have no money. That's the cry we've all had. I suppose most of us have believed that for a long time. Now, I'll come back to the bus terminal in a second, but first I want to highlight something. The current budget process is completely and utterly flawed. It's on a historic basis. We should be doing it on a zero-based basis. So instead of taking last year's, adding a bit, spending up to our limit and wasting money, what we should be doing is starting again every year and producing a business plan, building our budget up. What do we need to spend money on? We add in a priority-based element, so we're ring-fencing essential services and any projects that need to be done, such as, in this case, a bus terminal. Now, if we did that for the budget, we've got money saved, so we've got money we can put aside for something which is essential like this. Unfortunately, we have a current budget process which is going to need major revision, which means, the question is then, have we got the money? I think we need to find the money from somewhere. Let's not spend money on the Slock Road just because. Let's try and pool some cash, and let's try and put it into a bit of our infrastructure, useful infrastructure. But let's not just build something for the sake of it. Let's build a functional bus station where anyone can gather, have a coffee, talk to each other. Maybe we've got a commercial hub in there. So there's a return on investment on that actual building anyway. So yes, I most certainly do support us having a bus station in Douglas. Thank you.
Yes, I go along the idea of having a functional bus shelter, public way to sit. I mean, probably familiar, towns, infrastructure, very busy going to Douglas, so obviously having somewhere that if you miss a bus, you can go and wait and have somewhere that's warm. Obviously this benefits particularly the old that use it, so it makes a lot of sense. This, in comparison to a lot of projects, isn't a lot of money, so I don't think we need to sort of consider it too hard. And of course, there's many other instances where people arrive late and at the night. But having a good transport links throughout the island is good for tourism. It's good for people that use the buses, whether that be young or old, and it's good for the economy. So it's sort of a no-brainer, really. Thank you.
I suppose as a keen bus user, I really ought to declare an interest in this question, but absolutely we need it. The way that government's been trying to progress this actually is by getting somebody else to pay for it. It's absolutely essential, and it's taken too long, and unfortunately my understanding is that the developer who's been involved has been trying to move the goalposts too many times about the support that they've wanted in order to develop the Lord Street site. But the commercially savvy thing to do when you own the land is to get somebody else to pay for the bus shelter there, whilst building other facilities around it, such as shops, offices and car parking that we need in that end of Douglas, as well as some entertainment facilities. And you look at that lower Douglas area, there's an awful lot of potential there. So the ideal thing for the taxpayer would really be to get somebody else to pay for it. I'll leave it at that for that question.
Does anyone would disagree? Do we need a bus station or bus terminus in Douglas? Yes, undoubtedly we do. I don't know if anyone will remember when the Department of Infrastructure suggested that that bus station should be on Victoria Street. You remember those pictures in the paper? Well, obviously that was the wrong place, without a shadow of a doubt. And that is why government, and I was part of the government then, that we did a central Douglas master plan, which is what Julian's just alluding to there. Lord Street and Parade Street is part of that master plan, and if we can do this and do this right, we will get somebody else to actually do that. But it's not just the bus terminus, it's all the other integrated services that need to go along with that that would be very, very fitting. So yes, the expressions of interest, I can tell you, have actually just finished. There is still strong interest, and it'll be up to the next administration to find a successful bidder to build that on behalf of us, and therefore not costing the taxpayer a penny.
Of course, the answer is yes. I think that the main point to make, though, is it should be part of a much wider sort of debate about the whole infrastructure on the Isle of Man in terms of public transport. One of the questions that was emailed to me recently was about the prom, and of course, the prom is a fantastic example of what the government does when it doesn't want to listen to people. So, we have a process where, a decision is made, and then everybody says they don't like it, and we're now £1 million down the line. So, my recommendation to the person who asked me that question is, well, the way that I, having been involved in architectural competitions and things in the past, is, well, there should be an overarching policy, to avoid NIMBYism and studio, so that we can agree what the policy should be as to how to set an infrastructure, priority and a planning priority where it's actually going to be located and what we want from it. But that should be decided by you. And then once that policy is set, that takes away, as a policy decision, it takes away the nitty-gritty element of a decision like that. But then when we come back to design, which is the bit we're all actually going to have to live with, why isn't it given back to you? And this is, the very strong point I made to fill up the time. Well, if we were living in Holland or in Belgium or any of these other sort of more enlightened places, this would be put out to a public competition, and you would get to say. And the pure logic of it is, well, you're the people who are paying for it, you're the people who are going to have to live with it. Even if there is a private financial backer, you are paying for the infrastructure which is going to use it. So why are you not asked? There is no logical reason. I can contact all of you right now and ask you. So that's as far as it goes. The simple answer is yes, but you should say.